All right, it is your girl M here with Just Ask M. I am joined by the Gary. What I love is I literally just have these connections popping up from people I've actually known for years. So what's happening? What's a little bit about Gary before we jump into the business?
A little bit about Gary. Well, born and raised in Buffalo. A huge Bills fan.
Of course.
Two kids, two little boys.
You got two kids?
Two kids.
Oh, honey. See what I mean? Child?
5 and 4. My mom and my dad run a church.
Nice.
This is where we are right now. My financial services brokerage office is inside of their church. So,
Yes.
I love the fact that we can kind of keep it close to home, close to community. Been living here my whole life and just kind of doing this now.
That's good. Yeah. Did you have a birthday recently?
No, my birthday is in March, so it's coming.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. And I love it too because it's kind of interesting where like certain people, from like high school and then college and then jobs and life, and it's like we're only like in our 30s, but it's like you see such an evolving period of time from like these 20s to 30s, so it's like, if I knew you in my early 20s, we were where we were then, and then it's like, now
To see where we are now.
yeah, and it's just like, and there's still so much more growth to happen.
Absolutely,
And it's so beautiful because it's just like Buffalo needs a movement, and I do believe slowly but surely it is starting, and I love everything about it. God's timing has been incredibly crazy. The alignment of things. Where I was today was with my friend Rob. I used to go to 5th grade with him.
That's crazy.
5th grade.
Yeah.
And, he has his day job, but he's choosing on a Sunday to just simply serve soup. And like the people were just so grateful, like, and happy. And it was just such an ambiance different than the rest of Buffalo. And I think that's so important because Buffalo's oppressed.
Yeah.
It's a divided city. It's like, it's a city of neighbors, but very cliquey.
Yeah, definitely. I think the weather, unfortunately, has a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when the clouds are gray, you know what I mean? 9 months out of the year, it's cold, all these type of things. You could develop that type of personality as the weather, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You think of all these other places, I'll say Florida, for instance, it's sunny, LA is sunny all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
That definitely helps it.
Yeah, you just have such a brighter outlook from your day to day versus, okay, I gotta wake up, I gotta warm this car up, I gotta get the snow off, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so, but even with that, I do believe even when I travel and, I've been all over the country, I've, been out of the country, things like that. I will say that there is a different vibe of authenticity that you get in Buffalo that you don't get in a lot of other places. And I do love that aspect of it. And I'm proud that I'm from Buffalo. Yeah.
And that's because I like to travel too. And like you said, it is a different, environment, different people, different things that you see when you do travel. But then like Buffalo's always like home. But even and I get like what the weather is here, this and that. And that used to be a good excuse, but like I do think to a certain point then there's some accountability and responsibility even outside of that, where then it does become like a mindset thing. Yes, are certain circumstances, we're not getting the vitamin D and seasonal depression is probably like a real thing. But I do feel like outside of that, can we help it? And yes, does it require a little more mental energy, discipline, and hard work? Yes. But is it impossible? No.
Right.
And
it actually builds that resilience. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that you might have to go to a little bit deeper of a place emotionally than maybe somebody else. You know what I mean? Like that only means that you're just expanding your emotional depth. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing.
Yeah, exactly.
The quote that comes to mind, I think it's Bill Gates. I'm not sure, but somebody, you know what I mean? Like we can fact check it afterwards. But they were like, if you're born poor, that's not your fault. If you die poor, that's your fault. You know what I mean? Like, so that can be financially, that could be mindset, that could be anything. If you're born a particular type of way, you don't have to die that way. You know what I mean? Like you got enough, there's enough, you develop the skills, and resources over time to where, you can put yourself in a better space.
And that's such a short sentence, but the reason that's so powerful is just because like me and my folks, honey, we grew up on food stamps, Medicaid, all that stuff, Section 8. But we were never left without the necessities. Like we were never like in need of stuff. Like we were always
probably didn't even know you was poor. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know a lot of people like that. That's like, I didn't even know I was poor.
But then again, like, yeah, poor financially, but as cheesy as it sounds, we were rich in other ways.
Exactly.
You know, we had family, we had, you know, memories, moments, learning lessons. Like my mom and dad, not because they didn't want to, but like they never handed us, hey, here's like 10 grand to move out. Here's your first apartment. Here's your first car. They just weren't able to.
No.
So like there is some empowerment in saying, yeah, shoot, everything I got, like I
did it.
You know, I built it up.
Yeah.
But what mom and dad did give us was the best to their ability, the knowledge and education that they had. Dad made us street smart where, yeah, I'm a pretty young female. And when you see me come into the car dealership, you probably think you're going to get me, but you're not because of what my dad told me is and isn't. Yeah. So a lot of the time, rich and poor isn't measured by monetary things either. Like education, relationships, you know, just the understanding of things. And if I may, you know, and I ain't trying to throw shade at all, but can I keep it real about your workshop yesterday? So he had a workshop yesterday. I don't know how soon before, you know, you advertised it, but you reached out. You sent it to me, right?
Yeah.
Reached out. You know, I'm like an addict for just sharing everything I possibly can because I love the idea of if somebody is bold enough to come up with something because they have a vision, I'm all about it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we should be fueling instead of the toxic things or the gossip or the this and that, you know. That's what we should be fueling. That's what we should be, you know, empowering and bringing to the light. And that's literally my goal. But with the outcome of the amount of people who came to your workshop, I said, that's unacceptable. But you do the drink specials, the happy hour, the weekend parties. Oh, that's full to the brim.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. That's just facts.
That's so funny you say that. I was looking at something the other day and it was, you know, all of these different like price points. It was like, you know, $999. It was like new iPhone. Like, oh yeah, let me go and get it. And it was like,
find the money for that.
You know, $999 to start a class to like get a skill. And it's like, oh no, that's too much. You know what I mean? Like $25 for life insurance. And it's like, nah, I'm good. I don't need that. But then, you know, $25 for Netflix. Oh yeah, can't be without it. Now, you know, not to throw shade on Netflix because I cannot wait to see Stranger Things. I cannot wait till Wednesday. I am, God, I cannot wait till Wednesday.
But it's also prioritizing. And it's not to say you can't have those things, but like what people, and I think this is where people misunderstand, and this will lead into, you know, your area of expertise. Just because you are spending money on something that might not be a pair of shoes, getting my hair done, getting my nails done.
Right.
Other things are still an investment. Like my other podcast episode, she specializes in physical therapy. That is an investment.
Yeah.
I like to wear heels. My back be hurting and I'm 35. So I got to start taking care of myself so I'm not jacked up by 60.
Bingo.
Does she accept insurance? No. But the point of it is that's an investment in self-care for you. So why would you short yourself on that, but give money to Netflix, Starbucks, like it's nothing, no hesitation without
you drop
a doubt.
$150 on dinner, no problem. You know what I mean?
You
but
know
you
what
won't
I'm
drop $150 to go and, you know what I mean?
And
make sure
your workshop was free.
It was free. Had
Support
donuts,
and showing up is
coffee,
free.
You know what I mean? Like, and the information that's been given out is so valuable. You know what I mean? Like, I'm literally telling people, hey, I know the tools and the tricks and the tips to help you build generational wealth. It's like your grandkids will benefit from the decisions that you're making right now. And everybody's just like, yeah, sorry, I can't, you know, I can't do it. Oh, I'm a little sick or this and that. And it's just like, okay, you know what I mean?
Mind over matter. It's all about the mindset. I love helping people. But from step 1 to 10, you can help a person all the way up to step 9, hold them by the hand all the way up to. But if that person does not want to help themselves at that last step, you just can't do it until that person wants to help themselves.
You can lead a horse to water.
Yeah, right. Listen, but you can't make them drink. You can make them drink tequila easy, though. No, I'm kidding. So, like,
She's not,
you know what I'm saying? So, like, yes, those are realistic factors, and I don't care. I'm starting to call people out on them. Like, we just have to bring this to the light. We got to normalize these topics that are not being discussed enough, and it is what it is. You could take it or leave it. if you aren't working towards fixing something, don't complain about it.
Yeah.
And
whatever
if
you're not changing, you're choosing.
Literally. So with that being said, it was funny because I had such a busy day yesterday, and I was going to say, I appreciate you reaching out just one more time and saying, listen, just show up for 45 minutes. And I made it happen. It worked out.
And I appreciate that.
Of course. And it helped me put it into perspective for this podcast episode as well. But even deeper than that, I literally just sat here and spoke with 2 different companies regarding exactly what you do. And like, I didn't even know what you did until I just popped in yesterday. So with that being said, I think people have to stop misunderstanding, like you said, things that are of value. Because just simply be information. And the access that we have to technology, there ain't no excuse. There is no excuse. You could literally hop on YouTube and self-educate equivalent to a college degree.
You jump on there to make a, a recipe or something like that.
Literally a twerk.
Right, learn a new dance.
That's a whole nother story. So with that being said, as I go into an older age and I work with home care, so it opens up your eyes to, ooh, if that's what it looks like getting old, that's scary and concerning.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned it before. It's like, yeah, we're in our 20s, 30s, 40s. We may feel old, but life-wise, we're babies. We're still going to be around another 20, 30, 40, 50 years even, you know what I mean? God willing. And, people are living longer, health is such a focal point in our world now, and what you should be putting in your body, what you shouldn't be putting in your body, how often you should be going to the doctor, things to watch out for. It's only making people live longer. You know what I mean? Like, so if you don't take the necessary steps now, you won't be able to down the road.
And that's the thing. I mean? Although we're older, but we're still, like you said, we're actually still very young, because I'm 35. Let's say I live till 65, that's 30 more years, 75, 80, you know what I mean?
And
like,
when I look at people that are now 65, it's like, they don't seem like old, you know what I mean? Like, they just seem like, okay,
older person.
I'm an older person, but it's like, they still travel, you know what I mean? Like, they still are physically active, they're still operating a day-to-day life, no different than what I'm doing, you know what I mean?
And I love that so much, because I just made a video on my way here. And this is why, like, it's crazy, the timing of, like, running into you, sitting through your presentation yesterday. I've been in customer service for many, many years. Yeah. I know business. I know what's do's and don'ts, good and bad. I was reviewing you right while you were in that presentation. I said, okay, people complained about this. He actually mentioned it. People complained about this. You actually mentioned it. So with that being said, what drew me to your presentation was certain companies, I feel like, we're going to keep it real. Business, in race, in education, in certain neighborhoods, in certain cultures, certain classes of people, the higher tier people who are sitting back making all that money can almost know how to maneuver us, middle class, poor, whatever it is, like marionettes. And what I've noticed over the years is the difference of what I have been told versus now, because people of color, people who have grown up poor but decided to take the risky step of, I'm going to break these generational curses and do something different.
Bingo.
So now you are not only bringing light and education to the neighborhoods or class of people that it really wasn't so easily accessible to. It opens your eyes, where it's just like, why are you telling me to save all this money? Money I can't touch till I'm 59 and a half. What if I don't make it there, this and that? Oh, but what you're telling me now is I can have pot 1, 2, 3, and 4, which covers all my bases, because what if I'm not here at 40 to celebrate my 50th birthday or something? Or what if my knees get jacked up because I like my heels so much, now I can't even walk through Disneyland? You know what I'm saying? Yep. So it's just like, is it good to save financially, think of your family, and after death? Absolutely.
Yeah.
My sister passed away at 33. She only had cancer the last 2 years of her life. She didn't expect that. She didn't. 33, that's a short life. But you know where she was 6 months before she passed away? She was in Las Vegas. Because we think we have till 40, 50, 60, and that's not always like the case. So even with that being said, I'm like, girl, I'm going to take this trip in faith, even though my account isn't reflecting the money that I should be spending on it. But the things of value are, I'm healthy, I'm mobile, I can do it and enjoy it now. And then I can come back, recoup that money. But for me personally, okay, the age that I'm at now, I got to start making more grown-up decisions.
Yeah.
What does this look like? Investing my money? How can I financially be more prepped so I don't keep getting in debt or things come up and now I'm back in the hole? So with that being said, that kind of sums up your presentation. So what is it that makes you different with the business that you do?
So I think what makes me and my company that I work with different is it's not just about sales. It's not just about investing. It's not just about those things. It's literally education. Less than 5% of the people that hold the Series 6 license that I hold look like us. And you know what I mean by that. You know what I mean? Like, so with that being said, if less than 5% of the people that hold this license look like us, that means people who look like us are not getting this information. They overcomplicate things. They make it seem like you can't understand it, so
like
you have to trust
it.
them. One of the most profitable businesses in our country and in the world is ignorance. The less we know,
and ignorance does not have a color.
The less we know, the more they make. So what we have been trying to do is, properly educate the middle class on how to become, debt-free, financially secure, and financially independent. Now how many families do you think need that type of help in America right now?
Yeah.
Because
plenty.
So it's less about sales and all of these little analytical things and more about, hey, we need to educate you on how to do this. The wealthy have a plan. They've had a plan since the beginning of time. The middle class do not. And in order to get the plan, most of these big boy companies, they'll charge you $300 to $400 to sit with you an hour to, kind of get your needs, get your goals, things like that. Then they'll formulate the plan. They'll charge you $4,000 for the plan. And they won't sit down with you and do all of that unless you're worth $1 million. So what we do is we do all of that work
regardless
for
of
free.
value. Right.
We will literally, whether you want to roll with us or whether you want to roll with somebody else, we will literally formulate that plan for you, show you what it looks like, show you how you can get there, how soon you can get there, and give it to you for free. What we realize is a lot of people either don't have life insurance at all, or they're underinsured and overcharged. So what we want to do is we want to have you pay yourself first. The money that you're spending on these, things that aren't really going to serve you, let's cut back on that and really put it somewhere to where if something was to happen to you, it's going to take care of your family if you're no longer here. But then also, if you go ahead and retire, it's also going to take care of you.
Right.
So the problem that we have as humans, not just Americans or whatever it is, as humans is you're either going to live too long or you're going to die too soon. So what we want you to be is properly protected for any and all outcomes. And I think that's what separates us from other companies is we're not just trying to make money off of you. We're actually trying to educate you and teach you how to make money for yourself.
Yeah, and I think there's so much like respect and value in that. And that's what I try to tell people, like even, my previous podcast guest, like if he reaches out to you to inquire about this thing, you're really not trying to sell anything. No. That's what's crazy. Is there a price tag on it? Yes, but that's still even in your court based on what do you want to invest in you. And that's what I try to tell people. And even like another girl's story that I posted yesterday, she lives in, I think, Chicago. Like she said, don't get it confused of selling a product versus educating you. She said exactly that. And I think that's so important because people are, oh, the minute you ask them for money, no. You haven't even heard, you might not even know that you need help with that very thing that they can offer you if you just listen. It's free to listen. And a lot of the time what's crazy is we work so hard, if you're a 9-to-5 person, and how much are you really keeping for yourself before you're giving to bills? You pay for an apartment. How long are you even in that apartment versus at work? The
financial companies take us in all different directions. Your mortgage wants the most money. Your credit card wants the most money.
From point A to B.
So like they take you in all of these different
Yes.
directions and nobody cares. You know, like my mortgage does not care that I have to pay my car note.
not at all.
You know what I
Not
mean?
at all.
Like my car note does not care that I have to pay my credit card. You know what I mean?
Not at
Like
all.
so and even more so than selling anything, what I'm really looking for is recruits. Like I'm really looking for people who want to take on this mission and go into their own communities. You know what I mean? Like think McDonald's in that type of aspect where it's like, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm trying to empower you so that you can go and you can go forth and we can do this because, you know, we're sitting in a church right now, and it was so funny that when I first got involved with this, the first thing that Jesus did is he didn't go preach. He went and got 12 disciples. He went and got 12 people to further his message. He can only do so much as himself, even, and this is Jesus. So that is what I'm really looking for. Is I'm looking for soldiers. I'm looking for people who want to take up this mission and go help their communities and go help their families and go help the people that look like us that don't know this information, because I can only do so much. I can only sit with so many families versus I can train you and train you and train you and train you and teach you how to make money for yourself and others.
Yeah, and like I said, the beauty in that is it aligns so much with what I've been like trying to build, and kind of you get to this point where you explain less and I can just show you better than I can tell you. And you know, I'm big on the collaboration versus the competition. Am I efficient? Am I independent? Can I do a lot on my own? Absolutely.
Right.
But who wouldn't want, like you said, that added help? And that's what I say for the ladies in Buffalo, New York. I just speak on what I know. For women, why are we competing? Why are we trying to be the best? When you can simply, okay, I'm better, but I'm going to bring you with me. And now we're building, not just, you know, I want to be better. I want to make.
Let's push it forward.
And that's what I'm saying, whether it's women, whether it's cultures, whether it's people within communities, how strong and powerful we could be if we changed our mindset. And that's what I was saying, even going back to like, yes, the weather in Buffalo, New York is not always the sunniest. Well, you better find a way to shine, walk around Buffalo and change it around.
There's other ways to
you
get
know what
vitamin
I'm saying?
D, you know what I mean?
But it's all literally starts with the mind over matter, your mindset. What you tell your mind is what you're going to believe that you can do.
Yeah.
So that's what I try to like, I'm trying to just enforce and create this movement in Buffalo, New York, because this mindset and movement can be applied to so much. And it's just like, why are we not talking about this more? Why are we not like taking advantage of this? And it costs nothing except time. And yes, time is money, but realistically, you make time for the things that you want to do. And how much time are you really creating for things like, are they pouring into others? Are they being an example for others? Or is it more positive than negative? You know what I'm saying? So all these things, it's just like, it's not impossible. You just have to genuinely want to do it.
Yeah.
And when you find that,
that's the first step.
Like you said, when you find those soldiers, when you find that group of people who are like-minded, I used to think like, oh, I need 20, 30 people in a room. Listen, get 5 or 10 in a room. Keep doing what you're doing. Stay consistent. Ignore what isn't happening. Because at the end of the day, the strongest conversations, the best things come out of the unexpected moments, those small rooms, the rooms of 5 to 10 people talking business because they have a plan. They have a plan of, well, let's figure out how we can make this foundation strong, and then branch it out. Branch it out to communities, branch it out to families and people who aren't having access to this education, but also not being shown or taught. There's people out there who care enough about them where it doesn't matter where you are, you can be wherever you want to be. That's where people like you and I are lacking because of what our communities are surrounded by. And that's the generational curses we need to break. And every time Sunday comes, you best believe you're going to get a sermon up in here.
No, you are really
because it's spiritual to a point. Like, we got to break that in Buffalo, New York.
What
Generational curses.
A lot of people, it's not that they don't believe in you. They don't believe in themselves. So it's like when they see you,
people like you and I and anybody else out there, I'm making it your responsibility. I don't care what that person looks like. Stop judging a book by its cover. I stood in a group of people with listen, $1,000 pair of boots with no fear, and I felt comfortable in what we call either homeless or people in need. I felt more comfortable in there than a whole lot of other crowds with people with cufflinks that could pay my rent.
Yeah.
Don't judge a book by its cover. Be kind. You never know who's going through what. And we need to start spreading positivity and helping people believe it don't matter where you are. You could have $50 in your account. If you could still find a start, that's all you need to believe. People out here walking around jacked up and hurt.
Yeah.
But we're so strong because we come from struggle. And it's good and bad because we know how to deal with pain. But that pain gets to us to a certain point as humans.
Struggle is a double-edged sword because although, yes, struggle can strengthen you and teach you resilience and all these different things, sometimes people think that, oh, struggle is a part of life. I have to struggle. So when things like this seem too good to be true or too easy, it doesn't compute. It's like, yeah, no, it can't be that easy.
The defense goes
exactly,
up. And that is why Buffalo is so defensive. But things that could break that is saying hi to somebody, being kind, helping people be seen, bringing light to them, helping people know that they matter, educating them and sitting there and say, hey, I know you got, I ain't got kids. I had life insurance and I got rid of it. And I was like, wait a minute, what about after I die? I got debt.
Yeah.
why am I leaving that to people, after me? That wouldn't be fair to them. So it's the education part of these things where it's just like, we got to let people know, hey, I care enough to help you. It's not a bother. And I'm not too busy enough, busy in life where I can't stop for a moment and say, hey, let me show you this.
It's going to make me feel so much better seeing somebody that I helped 10 years from now being like, yo, man, I just started my own business because I was able to build up so much wealth that it's like, yo, my kids' college tuition is already taken care of and they're 6. You know what I mean? Like my mom's house, I was able to get her out of debt. I was able to do this. I was able to do that. Like we offer prepaid legal counsel. So it's like, yeah, I've been in so many situations in my life where it's like, dang, like, I don't know what to, let me call this lawyer up that I pay $28 a month for and they can talk me through this. Like these are the things that we're providing to families that just aren't accessible to their mental capacity to realize that, yo, it's right there.
But what's crazy is, first of all, I love the term generational wealth. That's number one, because being rich and wealthy are two different things. But generational wealth is something that poor people like us have that we have lacked. But it's also funny to see how much light you see on Cardi B, Stephon Diggs, the Love and Hip Hop, the Glow Riddle, all that easily. You open YouTube and mira, that's the first thing. But all these things of, oh, wait a minute, I can get legal counsel for $28 a month. Oh, wait a minute, I don't have to pay a $500 retainer just to get in the door. Where are these resources being advertised as much as all the other trash? And this is what I'm trying to tell people. It is a business, but it is also, to a point, our responsibility to take accountability because we do have access to the resources to unlearn this narrow-mindedness and know that there are people in our communities, neighbors, that it's like, hey, have a conversation with me for 5 to 10 minutes. And you won't be able to unlearn this. You won't be able to unhear it because, oh, wait a minute, it could be that simple. And this is where Buffalo, New York, neighborhoods, communities, mindset, and cultures need to collaborate, put the defensiveness aside, put the pride aside, and just be like, I'm tired of struggling. How can I?
Have to.
And it doesn't mean you're going to wake up to $1 million in your account the next day or every day for that matter.
But one day you will.
And even when you do something else, another challenge might come. And that's where the people who have struggled, y'all don't even realize that's a superpower in itself. Because the people who haven't struggled and just have had everything handed to them, always had a cushion to fall back on, when struggle hits them, they fail. So what better superpower to have where I know how to stretch $20. I know what it is to hustle and struggle. I'm still doing it, but I just turned it into stuff that I like to try and help others and give others hope and faith. And that's rewarding enough for me and blesses me in other ways.
See, the struggle teaches you how to budget.
Well, so now if you master the budgeting, you have a conversation with him.
You can handle the money that comes in.
You'll be unstoppable. Even when you get low, you're going to be like, I figured this out before. Let's just build it back up.
We call that, in our business, we call that being bulletproof. where, okay, I'm working and I have money coming in, but then my actual money, much like myself, is literally clocking in every single day and going into work via compound interest. So that compound interest is something that people don't really grasp, but they know it, you know, like 2 going to 4, 4 going to 8, 8 going to 16, and so on and so on and so on and so on. And then before you know it, you look up and you're like, whoa, like what I was showing you yesterday. There's no way you could see the information that I provide and not be changed for the rest of your life. Like,
it's that perspective. It's breaking that
it's that Neo in the Matrix moment where he wakes up and he sees all of these other bodies still asleep. It's like
opening,
your natural reaction is, I have to wake all these people up. Like, oh my God, we have been getting pounded by the big boy companies for our entire life.
Literally.
Like, we teach people what banks, credit card companies, insurance companies, you name it. We teach them what they don't want you to know.
That's exactly what I was trying to say.
They have no incentive. Like what I was talking about yesterday, we should have learned in school day 1.
Where was the finance class up in 8th grade?
Economics.
High school, like,
you know what I mean? Like, this should have been
I don't care what the economics were back then or here, there, that. No. Teach me what I'm going to be walking into when real life hits me as an adult.
Because if I swear, if I knew now, if I knew what I knew now, back then, we're not sitting here today. We're not sitting here today.
And like I said, I really be stuck on that point of like the things that they don't want us like to know about, where it's just like
our ignorance is profitable. They just make too much money
and like
from us not knowing.
And they keep getting away with it because our mindsets, our upbringing, what we're used to, it's like a jail. It's like a jail because it's just like, well, I get this check, I got to make a stretch. Well, let me work again, get to that. And it's a hamster wheel. You just keep getting to that next check. Well, this is all I can do. This is all I can do. And it's not even about what you make. It's about what you do with what you make.
Let me ask you this. So we're older now. We've lived life. We went through schooling, college, all this different type of stuff. What was the overwhelming path that you would say was always taught to you on how you reach success? Like, what is your definition of like, okay, if I want to reach success, I have to do A, B, C, D, and then I'll arrive at success. What would that?
I needed to have a degree. I needed to be at a job for a certain amount of time. I need to make a certain amount of money. I can't do this. I have to pay this. I have to.
So now the question I ask is, who told you that? And do they have what you want?
No, of course. No.
So how do you know if that's the right way?
I would say.
Because, my parents, that's what they told me.
Yeah.
But that's what they knew.
So, and then I think, like I said, part of like educating yourself on the general wealth is not accepting what we were told.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So we should and for me, I've gone against the grain of the 9 to 5. Well, you've only been at this job since, yeah, but I'm not happy. So you telling me it makes sense to you to wake up Monday through Friday, come to this job where I don't like half these folks and they don't like me and I'm not oblivious to it, and do that for the next 30, 40 years of my life? Hell no. I can't. So with that being said, I broke the mindsets of what society says, what is right and wrong, because what's right for you could be wrong for me and vice versa.
Bingo.
So that's why it's so important to maintain your mental. Yeah.
Yes.
You need school for that.
To go to
for
school.
Me, I'm still 5 classes away from an associate's degree because what I do and what I've been doing, I don't need a degree anymore because my experience alone and being bilingual has outweighed that.
That is that might be your most valuable skill, is the fact that, hey, I speak 2 languages. Mm-hmm. And you didn't learn that at school.
I was different. I didn't grow up speaking Spanish. I actually did learn a good amount through school.
Right.
But even with that being said, just like my experiences, I actually was lucky enough to get hired at a lot of jobs, got that experience, and I literally built my experience from the ground up. Being bilingual just added that plus of getting me in the door easier.
My children are biracial.
Yes.
And my biggest, I'm like, you have to learn Spanish.
You have to.
I've been in so many different environments where They go immediately to the top of the list.
Buffalo's such a melting pot that we got Cantonese, the Sudan people,
Yeah.
the Vietnamese. Like, there's people who know 3, 4, 5 languages. So
Learn
like,
as
if
many
you can
as you
learn
can.
too,
Yeah, God.
absolutely. But with that being said, this has been such an exciting conversation. And I'm going to ask you this. Do you believe in your own product?
I was my first client.
Okay. There you
I
have
was my
it.
first client. Like, as soon as I was able to set somebody up, the first person I set up was myself.
And like I said, and that's so important because I am not a salesperson.
Mm-hmm.
So would I sign up for what you do? Probably not. Will I be a client? Absolutely.
Yes.
Because I got so many things figured out in life, organized, perfection, this and that. Oh, but honey, when it comes to finances, I'm like, let's just put that on the back
And that's
burner.
what a lot of people are. Because
It's easy
like,
to do. It's
"Oh,
okay.
man,
We do it.
I don't understand this. I don't
Yes.
know this." But
Right.
rather than admit that I don't know, I'd rather just act like it doesn't exist.
And I'm gonna keep it real. Acting like it doesn't exist creates debt. I am currently in a debt consolidation program. Stop it. Don't do it. Just Ask M is the topics that we do not speak on enough. And that is anything, seriously, that's anything from finances to mental health to whoever, ladies or gentlemen. If you just in situations, relationships, or even friendships, or dealing with family, just to do it because you're afraid of standing alone or being alone, listen. You tell your family, whoever it is, listen, I got to get this right. So I'm going to go do that. I'm going to sit down and talk with you and figure out how can I help my family and create general wealth while breaking generational curses, breaking the
It's
narrow-mindedness of
I'm not charging anything
not being
to be sat with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is literally education.
Education is more valuable than money. I'm sorry.
Seriously, because
education can turn into money.
when you realize and you grasp the information, you're immediately rich in mind. And then
Knowledge is power.
The physical follows that. Like, once you know it, and it's like, oh, so all I have to do is, put this away for this many years and it'll look like this.
When you break it into small pieces, that in itself,
That's so
I know
simple.
that's how I learn. And like I said, and I'm very visual. So like your presentation yesterday, yes, give me graphs, give me pictures, because words and numbers, that overwhelms me.
People are visual learners, you know what I mean?
But if you tell me, oh, wait a minute, oh, that amount per week, that amount per month, I can make that work. Because right now I probably spend $200 on food in a month, maybe 2 weeks.
Seriously. I mean, not proud of it, but I literally probably spent
Easy.
maybe $150 last night on food, dinner, and
That
some
was
drinks.
okay.
I went out for somebody's birthday. You know what I mean? And it's like, dang, yeah. Like, but now knowing this information, I'm like, man, I want 50 would have looked better in that. You know what I mean? Better in that mutual fund.
Stop keeping up with people, breaking your bank, leaving yourself financially stressed. Because financial stress is nothing to play with.
It seeps into the body.
It literally does. And I'm going to end on this. Even if they had money handed to them, they still had to be educated in order to know what to do to maximize it. And not only maximize it to be rich, but to be wealthy, because with wealth is longevity. And that's what we're not taught. And that's the shift in financial education that we need to truly understand, make the time for, because that also is an investment in yourself. It's an investment in your future. It's an investment in your kids.
I was just about to say, it makes me think, like, here I am, okay, I'm 36, and I've started this, financial freedom journey. And I have my financial freedom, my financial independence number, we call it our FIN number, your financial independence number, and then I also have my financial independence date.
Okay.
I know, like, okay, on this date, if I take this program, I should be financially free by this time.
And that helps
it's
you
like,
to look forward to it.
Bingo. But then also it's like, well, that's with this number. If I double this number, then I could be financially free in this amount of time.
That's how you build it up.
In this amount of time. And it makes me think about my kids. Like, I've already started their financial independence journey and they don't even know it. They're 5 and 4. They're learning math right now. And they already don't even notice, like, by the time they're 18, they're going to be able to do whatever it is that they want to do. You want to go to school? Okay, cool. You want to start a business? Okay, cool. Like, you have a pot that daddy's been putting away for you for such a long time and you don't even know it.
And that's so important, especially like with kids. Like, what are you doing for your kids to build them up for success, you know, even though you might have not been given that opportunity.
They're going to have such an advantage
Yeah.
because as soon as they're able to grasp it, this is what they're going to be getting taught.
And that's true. That truly is the success right there, where I'm going to build my kid up so they're not going to have to struggle as much as I did and be prepared for the real world. So this is Gary, y'all. If you have any financial interest in joining him as a team to start building and exposing this kind of education in your communities, or if you simply need to be a client and be like, I don't know where to start, I just need to get started, this is your guy. I will tag him. Let's support. If there is workshops that are free and it might pique your interest, just show up. Just show up, stay for 30 minutes, and if it doesn't do you any good, at least you showed up, you checked it out, but you didn't short yourself from being educated.
30 minutes with me will literally change your life. It'll change the way you look at everything, because it changes the way, you know, I first had to sit down with somebody for 30 minutes, and it changed my life.
And that's important, because it's just like you have to have a starting point. If you want to do better and be better, you have to wake up and be like, okay, how do I get to this information? And usually the information is right there.
It's right in front of you.
So
no
more excuses of, well, I can't, well, I don't. It's everywhere. You just have to get up and do it. Go find it. We have these phones that are like our heart monitors. There's no excuse. As long as you got a Wi-Fi signal and you can call and get internet, you know, you can retrieve these resources. And I think more than ever, it's so important to
you can get the
start doing that now. Listen,
you can get the tea on how do I, you know what I mean?
Exactly. And even if there's any like business owners, youth, whatever the case is, have him show up for workshops.
We do a lot of work with businesses, like,
and with youth. This is what the youth need to be getting filtered in them. This right here is so important, because we're in our 30s now. Did we take advantage of these opportunities in our 20s? Probably not. But how can we continue to make the next generations have this accessibility? This is rich. This is rich, and this is exactly how we can increase the, you know, economy and the freedom within our cultures, or those mindsets of, yeah, we grew up poor, we might have struggled, but we don't have to stay there.
No. And I'm, you know, it makes me think like I'm somebody's brother, I'm somebody's dad, I'm somebody's cousin, I'm somebody's homie. I'm, you know what I mean? Like I'm just a regular person that learned something. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm able and willing and ready to teach what I've learned. I'm not gatekeeping anything. Like I want everybody to win. You know what I mean? Like,
thank you.
This is how we can take back our communities. You know, it takes money. This is how we get a supermarket where, okay, we don't got to drive 30, 40 minutes. A lot of people don't have cars. So now they got to jump on a bus. They got to do this. They got to, if they had a supermarket that's just right in there, you know, I could walk. You know what I mean? Like we used to be able to do back in the day before. It's like, yeah, no, we can't be in this neighborhood anymore. It's like, no, we can literally build the life that we want, one block at a time. One block at a time.
Collaboration, not competition. Let's resist and fight the ignorance. Education is out there, and it's just a point of
tapping in.
Literally, you've seen how many episodes, you've seen the amount of different topics I've had, and at the end of the day, it can all it's all one thing. It's all connected. It's all connected. There's business in everything. And a lot of the time I think people look at the big picture, and there's nothing wrong with looking the big picture to plan ahead. But there's also a point to take a step back and look at the smaller picture, break it down in pieces, and be like, okay, let's take these small pieces one at a time to get to that bigger picture. And it doesn't have to be overwhelming. It's not impossible, and you can build it up. And this is what needs to be filtered in our communities, in the circles that we are sitting in the rooms and tables that we are sitting at. This needs to be a thing. We have to capitalize and build off of this more and more, and simply giving people these opportunities in education, and not having it only be money driven. Because what I have found, and I think I can be a good example and living testimony to that, everything you see me do, this ain't reflecting hundreds and thousands of dollars in my account. You know how much of this I do for free?
Right.
But it's out of the kindness of my heart. But what comes out of that is genuine blessings, crazy connections that naturally come organically.
Yep.
And I'm trying to make people comprehend, don't do or be based on the price tag. Do based on the authenticity of, if you want to help people, the goodness of your heart, let's build, because when you build, now you don't got to worry about working so hard for peanuts. Now you're effortlessly working for sponsorships, working for thousands, having people reach out to you. Hey, we need you to come and do this workshop. This is our price tag. Does that work? Building, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, I just started my business. I have a couple employees. I want to set up a 401k. Okay, yeah, I got you. Like, you now have a guy. You have a guy, you know what I mean? Like, I think of all of these people that start small businesses and things like that. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's perfect. But did you know that if you set up a few benefits for yourself, you get a tax break? If you set up a 401k, if you set up this, if you set up that for your actual business, you get tax breaks. Like, people don't even know these type of things. You know what I mean? Like, and they know, but they don't know. They know that it's almost like, okay, yeah, I know that there are other planets out there. I know that,
Right.
but I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, you just know.
Yeah.
I don't know the ins and outs of it.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I can teach you the ins and outs. Come learn. Come learn.
And some of the realest things are the things we can't see. Thank you
Bingo.
so much for joining
No
me.
problem.
This has been wonderful.
I appreciate you.
People like you, other guests that I've had, that all I want to continue to do is just build, keep this type of energy, keep this mindset, and just keep filtrating it into Buffalo, New York. So stay tuned. Please support local, support those small businesses. It's about to be the holidays.
Yeah.
And subscribe, and I'll connect his information, and let's just connect.
Go Bills.
Yes.